Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we are here to count down the top 15 greatest baseball movies of all time. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so the top 15 baseball movies of all time. In full disclosure, I was originally going to do a top 10 list, and I just couldn't leave any of these out. So this is my list. This is what I consider to be the best. So it's not supposed to be representative of everyone, but I think I can make a damn good argument that these are the top 15 baseball movies ever to grace the film. So here we go. We're going to jump right into it at number 15 with 1993's Rookie of the Year. Now, this one, see, I was already a teenager. I feel like a lot of people really like this one maybe more than I do. And while I enjoy this one, it stars Thomas Ian Nichols. It stars Gary Busey. You have Daniel Stern in here. And this is about a young boy who breaks his arm and the tendons and everything heal really tight. So that's the impetus that kicks him off into being a major league pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, because now he can throw the ball, thanks to those tight tendons, really hard like a major leaguer. It's fun. I always quote Daniel Stern from this with the hot ice is what you need. I mean, and I think Daniel Stern, I didn't look this up before, I confess, but I actually think he might have directed this film as well. Rookie of the Year, classic. A lot of people remember it. Rowan Gardner. It's a lot of fun, and I just couldn't leave it off the list. For me, it comes in at number 15. Now, number 14 is one that a lot of people probably don't think about as a baseball movie. This is one of my favorite Walter Hill films, and it stars Richard Pryor and John Candy. I am talking about Brewster's Millions. Now, you may not think of this as a baseball film, but I will argue that it is. He is a major or a minor league baseball player, a pitcher. John Candy is a minor league baseball catcher, and he finds out that he has a long lost uncle that passes away and is willing him some money. Now, he gives him a couple of options. He gives him a wimp clause where he can take $1 million right now and walk away. Or he can take the challenge of trying to spend $30 million in 30 days and have no assets left over to show for it. And if he can do that, then he gets like $300 million or whatever, the full fortune. And all of this is in the background. He's wearing a baseball jersey through most of the movie. That's what he identifies as. He wants to use some of the money. He organizes a game between his minor league team and like the New York Yankees, all this kind of stuff. Baseball is very much the background. It gets involved in some of the schemes to spend the money. I think of baseball when I watch this, because even if you can tell on the cover here, he's got on the baseball jersey the whole time. He wears the Chicago Cubs jersey a lot. John Candy gets a big gold catcher's mask that he wears. I tie it to baseball. I'm a big Walter Hill film. This is one that maybe you didn't expect. It's not directly baseball, so it's a little bit lower, but I'm including it on my list. It comes in at number 14. Now, number 13 on the list is one that is kind of a classic. It's another in the long list of great movies that came out in 1984, maybe one of the best movie years in the history of cinema. I'm talking about Robert Redford's classic, The Natural. This is about a middle-aged man who suddenly comes out of seemingly nowhere to be a baseball legend, becomes a baseball legend, and has just damn near supernatural powers, right, as a baseball player. This cast is loaded. You got Robert Duvall in here. You got Glenn Close in here. Kim Basinger is in here. I think Barbara Hershey's in this movie. Just absolutely loaded film. And, of course, Robert Redford in the main role there. You can't really think about baseball films without including this one. For some reason, I just didn't watch this as much growing up. While I love the film, it just doesn't bump some of the others that I watched more often out. But it is an absolute classic and one that you should have in your collection. So for me, The Natural comes in on this list at number 13. Now, at number 12 is another one that you may not think of when you first think baseball films, but I do. Baseball, again, is what is the catalyst for what becomes really a retelling of It's a Wonderful Life. Now, that story's been told in a million different ways. This is a very fun way, and they use baseball to start it off. I am talking about 1990's Mr. Destiny. Now, this stars James Belushi. This has Linda Hamilton. It has Rene Russo. It has Michael Caine. It has a hell of a cast for a comedy with so much heart. And like I said, the story follows It's a Wonderful Life, but it starts because James Belushi, he's middle-aged, he's kind of looking back on his life, and for him, he pinpoints this one moment in a high school championship baseball game where the game was on the line and he didn't come through, right? He strikes out, and he always thinks that if he'd have just hit the home run, if he'd have been the hero in that game, his life would have turned out differently. He would have been rich. He would have gotten this other girl that he wanted at this time. Even though he's married and happy, he just thinks that everything would have been better, right? It would have been a wonderful life if he had just hit the ball. If he'd hit a home run and won the game, that would have been it. So he stumbles into this bar one night feeling sorry for himself, and he meets Mr. Destiny, played by Michael Caine. And it's one of my favorite, very understated roles from Michael Caine. He hits him up with this elixir that he calls spilled milk because there's no use crying over it. And it gives James Belushi a glimpse into the other life. It kicks back and it shows him what would happen, what his life would be like had he hit the home run and won the game. And he was right. A lot of it was great. At least on the surface, it was great. He's now married to Rene Russo. He's super rich. He has all the things that he wants, but he finds out that maybe all of that stuff is not what life is about. That's not what necessarily brings you happiness. And he finds out that his destiny was what it was supposed to be, and maybe it was a wonderful life. It is a fun ride. Baseball. It all goes back to baseball. It's talked about over and over again. It starts with that point. So for me, when I think about baseball films, I think about this one too. Mr. Destiny comes on our list at number 12. Now, at number 11 on the list is one that is classic, kind of a little raunchy, fun. It is 1976's The Bad News Bears. This one stars Walter Matthau. You got Tatum O'Neal in here. You got Jackie Earle Haley in a young role, and it always kind of cracks me up because he's playing Kelly Leak, who at the time is like kind of bigger than all the kids his age, and then Jackie Earle Haley just kind of stopped growing. But Walter Matthau plays Buttermaker, who is kind of like a down on his luck, like minor league player who ends up coaching a team of misfits, right? They're the Bad News Bears. That has become synonymous with a team of misfits that screw up for a reason. But he becomes the coach of this ragtag band of misfits they call a team that just so happened to be in this really competitive California, like, little league. And he has to try to coach them to, be as good as they can be. This is a fun movie. This one's one I watched millions of times growing up. I had TBS here in Georgia. They wore this thing out. It is an absolute classic. It is fun. For me, it comes in at number 11. Now, at number 10 on the list is another one that a lot of people maybe would have even higher than I do. But again, I was already like a freshman in high school when this one came out. So maybe had I been about like 2 or 3 years younger, it would have hit me different. But I'm talking about 1994's Little Big League. Now, this stars a young Luke Edwards. You got Timothy Busfield, who at the time I was like, that's Poindexter from Revenge of the Nerds. John Ashton from Beverly Hills Cop is in this movie. And in this one, A young Luke Edwards is willed a Major League Baseball team, the Minnesota Twins in this case, by his grandfather who passes away, and he ends up coaching the team himself. And this one's a lot of fun, and oddly enough, it has just enough realism to kind of kick it up over a little big league for me. And you say realism? Well, if you own the team, they can't really stop you from doing some things. So he owns the team, he coaches them, and baseball. Look, if you're 14 years old, 13 years, you're really only a few years away from being able to play in the major leagues. There's 18, 19-year-olds that play in it. So a little bit more of realistic kind of thing for me, but just absolutely fun. Now, I hated the Minnesota Twins at that time because I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, and we had just lost in one of the most epic World Series ever to them a couple of years before. But this one was a lot of fun, and for me, just the characters in it and a little bit more of the realism kind of kick it above Rookie of the Year, which came out just like a year before. But for me, Little Big League is an awesome, fun watch. It comes in at number 10. Now, at number 9 on the list is one of the more recent ones, and this one could be higher if it wasn't for some of the corny, on-the-nose dialogue and line delivery that is in it that just kind of off-puts me a little bit. When I'm talking about 2001's Summer Catch. Now, this one is absolutely loaded with like 90s and early 2000s, like teen heartthrobs. You got Freddie Prinze Jr., Jessica Biel, you have Matthew Lillard, you have Christian Kane, you have Mark Blucas from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Fred Ward is in here, Brian Dennehy is in here, Brittany Murphy's in here, Wilder Valderrama's in this. This cast is just insane. You've got special appearances by like Hank Aaron, John C. McGinley, Ken Griffey Jr. This thing is loaded, right? It's absolutely loaded. They threw everything they had at it, and it's fun. Freddie Prinze Jr. plays, he and Matthew Lillard and Mark Blucas and the gang, they play minor league baseball players who are like in the Cape Cod League over the summer. And Freddie Prinze Jr., he falls in love and has a romance, a summer romance with Jessica Biel, who is like a rich girl. Her parents are like summering in, let's summer in Cape Cod. That's what they're doing. And, the background is minor league baseball through the whole thing, right? So you got baseball vibes through it all. The beautiful setting, place I would like to go check out during the summertime. But man, some of that dialogue, like the, I love you, let's be together. Like there's some of it that's bad and the line delivery is bad. But overall, the movie's just so much fun. It has so much heart to it, so much baseball, such a beautiful setting, such a big cast. It has to be on this list. I have a good time with it. It comes in at number 9. Now, at number 8 is one that a lot of you are going to be surprised is not higher, and I love this film. I saw this film in the theater. My mom saw this in the theater with her friend at the time, and I was across the hall seeing something else, and then I went and saw this too. I'm talking about 1992's A League of Their Own. Now, this is Tom Hanks. This is Gina Davis. You got Madonna in here. They threw everything they had at this movie, and it is a blast. It is good. It is about the Women's Baseball League in World War II. So it's grounded in reality, that something that happened. And Tom Hanks plays the drunken coach, Jimmy Dugan, who ends up coaching this women's baseball team. Gina Davis plays the stud catcher who plays like a stud. And it's just fun. This one is definitely one that has permeated the pop culture and the cultural zeitgeist for all this time. Crying, there's no crying in baseball. Everybody knows that. And I love the movie. It's just when we get up here towards the top, there are so many that are so damn good. It's splitting hairs, and I like other ones for different reasons. I can't say that I was ever a fan of girls' baseball league growing up. So that kind of pushes it back down. But Tom Hanks, Gina Davis, this is when Tom Hanks was really at the top of his game for me. Like I'm a much like bigger fan of 80s through early 90s Tom Hanks. And this is that, A League of Their Own, an absolute classic, coming in at number 8. Now, at number 7 on the list is another classic, and you're going to be like, how is that so low? I'm turning this thing off. But I'm talking about 1989's Field of Dreams. Now, I love Field of Dreams. I mean, if you build it, they will come. Everybody knows that. You've got Kevin Costner. You've got James Earl Jones. You got Ray Liotta in here playing Shoeless Joe Jackson. It's great. What can you say? Costner plays Ray Kinsella, who hears voices. He's an Iowa farmer, and he hears voices coming from his corn telling him if he builds it, they will come. And for me, it has more meaning as I've gotten older and I've become a father, and I lost my father, and he's trying, ultimately all of this, and he gets to see his father and play catch with his father again. It's literally a field of dreams. If you haven't seen it, shame on you. Spoiler, statute of limitations is gone. But all of that is in here, and so it definitely gives me a different context, and I have such a nostalgia pull as a father and as someone who has lost my father to that, and it is absolutely epic. It is one that will go down in history as one of the greatest baseball films ever. I love it too. For me, it comes in on this list at number 7. Now, at number 6 on the list is yet another one. Actually, I'm going to go with a tie here. I'm going to go with a tie because I couldn't leave either one of these off. And again, a lot of people remember both of these even more fondly than I do, but you got to remember I was 8th grade, 9th grade when these came out, and I actually think one of these was like halfway through my 9th grade year before it came out. So I was a little bit older. I wasn't in that 10-year-old range anymore that would have made these hit different. I am talking about 1993's The Sandlot and 1994's Angels of the Outfield, or in the outfield. They share this spot at number 6. I love both films. I've got The Sandlot right here. I've got Angels in the Outfield, I think, on an old DVD. And I mean, they're both loaded. I mean, this has, you have another one here with James Earl Jones in it. And this is one of my favorite things because it's like set back in the 50s or 60s. I think it's like 1962. This amazing summer, all of that stuff, baseball just permeates the whole thing, the whole kid adventure, the imagination, all of that stuff is there for me. It's absolute classic because of that. And then with Angels in the Outfield, you talk about cast. You got a young Matthew McConaughey in here. You got Joseph Gordon-Levitt when he's really young. You got Neil McDonough. You got Adrian Brody is in this movie. Danny Glover, Christopher Lloyd. A stacked cast, and a boy gets angels to help his favorite team, and because of everything he's going through, these are very heartfelt. Again, I was maybe just a touch older, or these would probably be even higher for me like they are for other people. And quite honestly, if it wasn't the power of the two of these together, putting them together at number 6, they would probably have be down behind Field of Dreams and A League of Their Own for me, but they are absolute classics. I love them. I watched them again and again. So The Sandlot and Angels in the Outfield tie at number 6 for me. Now, at number 5 is one that if we were just going by acting, and writing, it would be number 1. Like from a serious acting performance and everything else. I think it's one of the most underrated acting performances of this actor's career. I'm talking about 1994's Cobb. Now, this stars Tommy Lee Jones and Robert Wuhl, and this is about the life story of Ty Cobb, the Georgia Peach, one of the best baseball players in the history of the game. It's kind of like a true story. It's based on a true story. And Robert Wuhl plays sports writer, and novelist Al Stump. And Al Stump actually wrote this movie too about this whole experience. So he plays Al Stump, who at the time was hired by Ty Cobb to write the official life story of Ty Cobb. And he traveled with him. He stayed with him. He learned all about his life. And he wrote the book that Ty Cobb wanted him to write, which was more just baseball focused. And then he wrote the real story, like all of the stories, the stuff that happened behind the scenes, his interpersonal relationships, the stuff that happened with his parents when he was young, all kinds of stuff like that. You even get a little cameo by Jimmy Buffett in here that plays famously the heckler that Ty Cobb went into the stands to beat up, and turned out he was handicapped and everything else. But Ty Cobb was not all sunshine and rainbows. He was tough. He wanted to win. He was smart. He was smarter than most other players of his time. That's how he became rich. He owned a ton of Coca-Cola from early on. He knew what he was doing, and he took care of a lot of other baseball players behind the scenes, but they didn't like him. They used him and they didn't like him because he was a mean hard ass, but he still took care of them. And it's a very, very revealing thing. And to me, I think it's probably the best performance of Tommy Lee Jones' career. Check it out. If you have not seen Cobb, you're doing yourself a disservice. For me, it comes in on this list at number 5. Now, at number 4, this is one that came out when I was like 12 years old. Fell in love with this. This stars John Goodman, and it is just the absolute epic, just amazing tale of Babe Ruth. I am talking about The Babe. Now, like I said, it stars John Goodman as Babe Ruth, and he does a absolute hell of a job. Now, there's some knocks on this that I knock it down. They try to portray him sometimes in a little bit more negative light than what actually happened in real life. Like, he never really had the feud from the jump with Lou Gehrig that they portray in here. That didn't come till later, and it was kind of over a woman. So it didn't, some of that stuff didn't happen. And, you know, they do fairly, or some people would say unfairly, they portray like some of the legends, like him calling his shot in the World Series, him hitting the home runs for the kid. You know, a lot of that stuff happened. Maybe it didn't happen exactly like they show in here, but it did happen. So it is just a magic. It is the mythology of the baseball player that just makes him so great. To me, even as a Braves fan, Babe Ruth is still the home run king to me over Hank Aaron, over Barry Bonds, over anyone else, because he did it at a time where they wound baseballs by hand. He had to hit out of huge parks, and he definitely wasn't on any performance enhancers of any kind. And I think he did it in like 6 seasons less than it took Hank Aaron. So, you know, had he played another 6 seasons, had he played in a time, you know, with a juiced ball or steroid, who knows? For me, he's the home run king. He always will be one of the most legendary figures in all of baseball. I absolutely love it. A great performance by John Goodman. The Babe comes in at number 4 on this list. Now, at number 3 on the list is one that I confess maybe I just like better than other people. I love this movie, and I don't ever hear people talk about this movie. This is one that I would love to see get like a 4K, a lot of pomp and circumstance release. I absolutely love 1992's Mr. Baseball. With Tom Selleck, you got Dennis Haysbert in here, who plays in another very famous baseball movie. But Selleck plays former, like, MLB MVP. You like that onslaught of initials? Ask you, former Major League Baseball most valuable player, Jack Elliott. And he finds himself on the downside of his career, and his contract gets bought out, basically, and he gets shipped to Japan to play baseball in Japan. And there is a culture clash. He doesn't want to be there. He wants to be back in the big leagues. He doesn't want to have to, you know, learn any of this. He just wants out of there as fast as he can. But he finds out there's some things that he can learn, not only about baseball, but the culture, There is a romance going on there. There's the fish out of water angle that's going on there because you have giant Tom Selleck over there, which is funny when he's walking through the airport. That cracks me up. When he meets these Japanese businessmen and they're passing out business cards and he takes out his baseball cards and hands them out to him and says, "Now no setting on my face." It is hilarious. There's a lot of that stuff that is so much fun. The culture clash is so much fun. Tom Selleck is great in this. Dennis Haysbert is great in this. I have a lot of fun. I don't know why people don't talk about this movie more. It is one of my favorite baseball movies of all time. Mr. Baseball comes in on this list at number 3. At number 2 on this list, the top 2, it's a fight. It's a fight for me, but in the end, I think I got it right. I'm going at number 2 with one that I've had on this channel before. I've talked about so much. I love this movie. Watched it on TBS a million times. Came out when I was like 9 years old. I'm talking about 1988's Bull Durham. Now, here is my favorite Kevin Costner baseball movie. He has another one that's pretty good. For the Love of the Game is not bad. It didn't make my list. Spoiler alert. But this one also stars Susan Sarandon and Tim Robbins. Holy crap. This is just classic baseball movie. He plays Crash Davis, a career minor leaguer who's only ever had a cup of coffee in the major leagues. And he's in AAA, which is just one step shy of the major leagues. When his contract gets bought out and he gets sent down to like A-ball, lowest tier minor league, bus league, all of that, basically just to cultivate the head to go along with the right arm of up-and-coming star prospect Nuke LaLoosh, Eddie Calvin LaLoosh, a pitcher in the minor leagues who plays for the Durham Bulls, who at the time, I believe, were a minor league arm of the Atlanta Braves here, not too far away from me. And I just loved it. We watched this movie all the time, me and my brother, me and my uncle. And we'd go out and play baseball and all that kind of stuff. Bull Durham, it has the funky love triangle between Susan Sarandon, Tim Robbins, and Kevin Costner in this movie. It's a little sexy. It's definitely R-rated, but it is a lot of fun. It's a classic. Bull Durham, I cannot recommend it enough. From 1988, it comes in at number 2 on this list. And that just leaves one. At the number 1 spot on my list, it was no question when I really thought about it. I watch this movie every year when spring training starts. Usually it's a once or twice a year watch. I am talking about 1989's Major League. Now, in the end, there was no doubt this was my number 1. I didn't play a lot of baseball growing up, but I remember when this came out, seeing this at the theater, and then going to football practice with my friends and telling each other, "Up your butt, Joe Boo." You know, all these kind of different one-liners and everything else from this movie that stars Charlie Sheen, a younger Wesley Snipes. Tom Berenger is in this movie. Dennis Haysbert is in this movie. Corbin Burnson in this movie. Absolutely just loaded. And of course, this is the story of where the Vegas showgirl, she ends up inheriting the Cleveland Indians, and she wants to run the team in the ground bad enough to where they can get out of their contract and move to Miami. And she tries to put together the most motley crew, pathetic team in history with the worst coach. One of the best moments ever is when they call him and Lou Brown is working at the tire place, and they're like, "How would you like to coach the Cleveland Browns?" And he's like, "I don't know. I got a guy on the other line about some white walls. I'll call you later." Absolutely awesome. Love that part. The whole movie, Wesley Snipes wakes up. He thinks he's been cut. He sprints down. There's nothing I don't love about this movie. The comedy is on point. It has just a little bit of that quintessential 80s sexy raunch factor in there. All of that kind of stuff, the off-color humor, all of that stuff is in there. Just absolutely love it. Pedro Serrano, who doesn't know him? I mean, how do you cut your hair, rookie? Vegematic. This movie is just loaded with one-liners. It's loaded with iconic stuff that has stood the test of time when it comes to comedy. It's spawned multiple sequels. Major League is just absolutely a blast. Wild Thing, Ricky Vaughn. You gotta love it. Major League, unquestioned, number one. And that is my list of the top 15 baseball movies of all time. As baseball season gets underway, as I record this, my Braves are off to a rough start, but I got faith that they will bounce back. Still one of the greatest organizations in the history of the game. And I absolutely I'm a big Braves fan. I'm much more of a Braves fan than an overall baseball fan. I'm a football player, but I love these movies. I grew up with a lot of these movies, and I definitely wanted to share them with you. That's what I got. I hope you enjoyed this. You know, we do everything here. We do fun lists, recommendations like this, special ones, and I got all my big movie recommendations lists that I do that everybody loves so much. But I do 4K movie reviews, physical media news, in-depth movie talk, all of that kind of stuff from a fan and filmmaker's perspective. If this is your first time here, I am a filmmaker. That's what I've been doing for half of my life, and I love doing that and sharing everything I know about movies and my love for movies with all of you. If that sounds like something that you enjoy, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. If you want to help support the channel, you can join at my YouTube channel, and you're going to get some behind-the-scenes content. You're going to get your name and lights and all that stuff, but I'd recommend, if you want to help support what we do here, join at the Patreon link. I can do much more over there, special reviews, all that kind of stuff. Put more of my filmmaking over there without having to worry about following certain rules, and they take much less, and I can just share way more with you. But either way, anything you want to do really helps the channel, and I appreciate it more than you know. But until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Break out the tomahawk chop. Go Braves. I know.